Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Adora, a tattoo artist and an artist. In my last video, you may have joined me for a studio vlog where I unboxed my newest merch and packed up products for today's market. If not, and you like chill, long studio vlogs, watch that first, or watch it later, it'll be up in the corner. So, after months of prepping for my first pop-up shop, with new merch, high hopes, and a dream of selling most of my stock, what happened? I made less than $100. Yeah, not quite the success story I imagined. Some things didn't even sell at all. But at the end of the day, we pick ourselves up, and that's all we can really do. Today I'm sharing the highs, the lows, and everything I learned from my first pop-up shop flop. So, the tattoo studio I tattoo out of was putting together their first ever non-tattoo event. Usually we've held events where tattoo artists are actually tattooing, but this time we wanted to do a non-tattoo event where the resident artists could have a chance to sell their own wares and invite outside makers to sell their own wares as well. I was super excited to participate. I love being a part of events and the hustle and bustle. And I've been wanting to create merch for a very long time now that reflects my current state of my artwork. But I've been procrastinating, putting it on the back burner and putting higher priority things first. So this event was the perfect opportunity for me to make some merch to prep for a future shop launch. I've vended before in the past at an anime convention pre-Rona, but this was like my first real actual like pop-up shop at like a market thing in a community, whatever. Going into this, I knew I wouldn't have a ton of merchandise because I am pretty much starting from scratch. Now, fast forward to 2 weeks before the event. Unfortunately, a tragedy had struck my family. I'm okay, still processing everything and reflecting, but I was faced with the reality that I'd have to make some last minute travels and shift some appointments around and move my schedule around. Family will always come first to me, and I had to leave the state just days before this event. My mates at the studio comforted me and ensured me, or encouraged me to not take on too much that I didn't have to. But, busy work is cathartic for me, so I was more than willing to do it to just like help me in its own way. With the way the flights were scheduled to fit within my budget, I was unsure if I was even able to make it to the event at all. At this point, I put it up to the universe whether or not I'd make it. I wasn't going to be too devastated if I couldn't, but either way, rest is rest. I would be cutting it close and praying that I don't encounter flight delays in the first place. Fortunately, the forces of the world blessed me with smooth travels. I was able to get home Sunday morning. I had just enough time to finish some last minute packing and fit a catnap in. At this rate, I had to see this event through. I've been working on my merch for the past 2 months on my free time. I knew I wanted to create some brand new designs, but it was important to be very realistic with my schedule and capabilities. In the past, I'd bite off more than I could chew with my lofty ideas, but through the years, I've learned to set realistic expectations with my own work output so I don't completely exhaust myself and have a mental breakdown. So, in turn, I ended up repurposing some of my pre-drawn tattoo designs into merch. I've also had a bunch of sticker designs ready for my future shop launch, which would be perfect to include. Also, after searching through storage, I actually found some of the leftover products from my anime convention days. My art from this era does not accurately represent who I am and what my art is today, but it still somewhat resembles facets of it, so I want to include some items in this pop up, but at a discount. At the end of the day, I had one tote bag with a brand new design, one tote bag with a repurposed design, 30 temporary tattoos of a repurposed design, 12 sticker designs that I already had made for my shop launch, 2 sticker keepers with brand new designs, 1 acrylic keychain design that I had already made for my shop launch, 3 old acrylic keychain designs for my pre-Rona convention, and 3 old button designs from my pre-Rona convention. I knew I wasn't gonna need a ton of products, but just enough to look stocked with a variety, so I made sure not to order too much inventory, just a few pieces of each design. Now, for this day, Sunday, I have been up since 3 a.m. so I could catch a 5 a.m. flight back home. I was ready for whatever, honestly, at this point. I just wanted this whole experience to be as smooth as possible. I was expecting to sell at least at minimum a quarter of my inventory, nothing too lofty. I didn't even have a lot of stock anyways. At least hope to make 2 to 300, but I didn't. I made about like 80 bucks and spent most of it supporting the other vendors there. So, yeah. At these kind of events, at the end of the day, vendors chit chat and some ask if anyone wants to trade, and some people do. I already spent most of my earned money that day, and I thought, why don't I ask this one person if they'd like to trade? I haven't asked anyone else to trade. I love supporting small businesses and artists, and when I mentioned if they would like to possibly make a trade, they were like, were you this table or that one? And I was like, oh, I'm this one. And they were like, oh, no thanks. I'm all traded out for the day. Without looking at me and just typing away in their phone, looking visibly annoyed. And a nearby vendor at a table was just kind of side-eyeing me with embarrassment, and I was just internally screaming like, oh my god, run, 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 run. It's like I made her not like me. What did I do? I don't even know, but looking back at it, I understand it was a long day, and I'm sure she did a bunch of trades already, and no one is obligated to trade with anyone at all. And my art and products aren't for everyone, and that's okay, but damn, my emotions were already kind of high that day, so I felt that harder than what I'm sure it was intended to be. Even though I have taken some L's from this experience, I also took some wins. And it's very important to look at both sides in life, else you fall into a negative delusion or a happy delusion. I used to be on the negative end in the sad girl era of my life, and I never want to feel that low again, honestly. So, appreciating the wins, no matter how big or small they are, helps set us up to maintain a level headed outlook, which is so important to learning and improving better for next time. So, I didn't exactly make it rain at this event, more like a light drizzle of purchases. But hey, not every day is gonna be a sales bonanza. The key is bouncing back. Did I want to curl up in a ball and eat my weight in dim sum? Duh. But afterwards, I'm trying to look at the silver lining. Like, now I have more merch for next time. Talk about future me being prepared. Ah, slay bow, slay. Do I see an online shop launch coming sooner than later? Most definitely. But no, seriously though, I ended up meeting some super cool vendors and got inspiration from their setups. I got to meet a lot of new potential tattoo clients who admire my artwork of the tattoos plastered on my walls, and some who bought some of my merchandise. Plus, now I have some vendor friends to swap war stories with. One unexpected perk: I got direct feedback from people. Sure, some folks just smiled and walked away, but a few actually told me what they loved. Turns out my old milk carton sticker, major hit. My old pink bunny sticker, hit. People seem to like the simple and cutesy stuff. As much as I don't want to compromise my artwork's integrity and just make things to attract the mainstream, I do want to take into consideration a good balance in my own designs and components. Being able to hear feedback straight from the source helped me know what to focus on for the future. Sometimes the hype on social media makes you feel like you'll succeed because so many others have. But it's so important to understand social media often shows the highlights, but not the behind the scenes struggles. And I try to use discernment in all the media I consume, and I want to let you know the reality of being a small business owner and of artists selling their artwork. Reflecting back on this whole shindig and coming up with logic as to why it was a flop is based on so many different factors. This event was the first of its kind in a place that is not known to hold these kinds of things. It was also a super small event with less than 20 total vendors. It was more of low key and only promoted on Instagram. And my work is very illustrative with a particular niche style, and I had some fan art of anime mixed in with my products. The kinds of things that you'd see like at an anime convention, artist alley or something. And this event was nothing like an artist alley at an anime convention. But dwelling on the why it may have flopped will get me nowhere. Coming out of this, I feel like I have a better understanding of my target audience and what kind of vendor markets I would succeed at. I feel more confident at what level of production I am capable of for designing merch. If I had to do this again in the future, I would definitely choose to do one at an anime convention, but a small one for sure. Start small. Definitely was not a win, but in terms of experience, it was a win. It was a win in the bigger picture. Sometimes it's these flops that make the next success even sweeter. If you have any stories about your artist market flops and what you've learned from them, comment below. I love hearing wisdom from others. Thanks again for hanging out. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.